If you're watching this video, then that might mean you are having issues creating workflow rules in Zoho CRM. But trust me, it is really not that hard. And I am here to teach you. So if you're tired of sending out emails manually, if you're tired of updating your custom fields manually, if you're tired of assigning tasks, if you're tired of giving notification about different meetings in your Zoho CRM, about different tasks in your Zoho CRM, you're just tired of doing all of those manual works, so CRM can help you out with that. I believe in automation a lot. The reason why we are paying for CRM is to make our life simpler, is to make our business process simpler, and that is why automation is the best thing you can get in a CRM. So now I'll walk you through how to use workflow rules in Zoho CRM. Stick with me and don't go anywhere. So the first thing you want to do is you want to click on the settings icon and you want to go to automations, then you want to go to workflow rules. And now let's create a workflow rule. So now when you click on create rule, it is going to ask you which module you want to create this workflow rule for. So are we creating for the lead module? Are we creating for the contact module? You can pick whichever module you want. You can create for multiple modules in here. So we are going to be picking leads for this tutorial, and we are just going to call this lead automation. And you're going to click on next. Okay, so now we want to pick the trigger for this automation. So we are going to be picking record action first. And what this means is that when a lead is created or edited, and this checkbox here, you have to be very careful because this means that you want to repeat this workflow whenever a lead is edited. What this means is that if you change anything in your lead, like a particular lead, this workflow will be triggered. And yeah, you do not want to turn that on most of the time because even if you in as much change a lead status, it is going to be this workflow is going to be triggered. If you change the city, it's going to be triggered. So that's the meaning of this button in here. So you want to turn it off because we do not want a disaster in our Zoho CRM. So you can also pick when it is only headed. So when any field is modified in your Zoho CRM account. So you can decide if it is any field that gets modified, or if it is a specific field, or if it is any field in any section in your Zoho CRM account. So if you are picking standard, what sections need to be edited before this workflow can be triggered? If it is the lead information, the address information, you name it, you can pick whichever one. And if it is specific field in your CRM, so when your lead status is modified to a specific value or a value ending with, starting with, whatever it is, you can also add that as a trigger. And also the last one is when a record is deleted. This is important in some scenarios because you want to monitor why people deleting your leads. So you want to check that out also. That is for record action. For date and time action, so we can pick the created date. Maybe it's created on, then do you want it to be immediately or in 15 minutes? You can set the timer, or is there a specific time you want? And how many times do you want this to reoccur? Is it once or every month or every year? So let's say you created a birthday date and you want to be able to send out birthday messages to your leads. If it's a birthday date, it is going to be in here. If you have that in your Zoho CRM already, then you can click on that and you can just send that out as an email notification to your leads. You can also pick the unsubscribe time. You can also choose the last activity time. So you can just specify if you want this to be immediate or you want to extend it a little bit for this workflow to be triggered. And that is for date and time. You can also do for the record score. So this record score is your lead score. There's a way you can configure that in Zoho CRM also. So we want to do this for when the score is increased. If the score is increased, you can also trigger this workflow through that. And if it is decreased, you can also do that. You can make it as a trigger also, and if it is updated, you can also make these as a trigger. So that is for record score. The last one, which is the record note, you can also trigger this workflow when a note is added, or if the note of the lead is added or modified, or if it is only modified, or if it is deleted. You can also add that as a trigger. And the most popular thing that people actually use is the record action. Just when it is create or edit, then you click on next. So now this is for the criteria column. What this part means, the condition part means, is that after this workflow has been triggered, do we need to check for any other thing? Do we need to check for any criteria before we move on with this workflow? If the answer is yes, you have to set the criteria for this workflow. If the answer is no, we do not need any criteria, we want you to do this for every of our leads, then you pick for all leads. Simple, right? So now we want to want to use a criteria. So we only want to set this workflow in motion when our lead source is website. When the lead source is website, and or we can change this to or. And what this means is that if it is lead source and the let's say the lead status is interested, you can also pick is or isn't or doesn't contain. So there are a lot of options you can pick from. So I am just picking is. So if that means if the lead source is website and the lead status is interested, this workflow can continue in motion. What I mean by that is when this workflow is triggered when a lead is created or edited, before we can move on with this workflow, before we can move on with the actions that needed to be created with this workflow, we need to check for some certain conditions. And the system is going to check if the lead source is website or the lead status is interested hand. So the difference between this hand and or is that the hand signifies that both these conditions must be in place before this workflow can move forward. So that means if one is fulfilled and the other is not fulfilled, this workflow is not going to move forward. And if only the lead status is being fulfilled, if only the lead status is interested and the lead source is any other thing, this workflow is not going to work. It's not going to be set in motion. So the system is going to make sure that the lead source is website and the lead status is interested before this workflow can work. If the lead source is website or the lead status is interested, so any of these conditions can be fulfilled for this workflow to move forward. It's not confusing at all. It's just understanding this simple grammar, hand and whole. When you are done with all the criteria you've chosen, then you click on done. And now we can pick instant actions. So now we can pick the first instant action we can choose is field update. And what this field update means is that you can update a field automatically. Okay, so let's say the both conditions have been fulfilled. We can also update the lead status. So you just name this whatever you want to name it as. And the field we are picking is lead status. So we are going to pick lead status. And what do you want this lead status to be updated to? So you can either set this as empty. So that means the value in the lead status will be removed and nothing is going to be placed in there, or you can update the lead status to whatever you want. So I want to leave this lead status as empty and I want to save and associate. Yeah, so that action has been created. You can also add another action where you can assign owner. So if the lead status is website and the lead status is interested, we want to change the record owner. We want to change the owner of this particular lead. So you can pick the users category and you can select which user you want to assign this lead to. So I'm going to be picking me. So you can pick if the users are matching certain conditions. So let's say if the user's country is Nigeria, then you can pick whatever country that selected, you want to add in there. And the assignment rules also, you have to create an assignment rule for you to be able to do this. I'm going to create another video where I can explain assignment rule. Okay, but you can just pick the category and just pick whoever user you want to use, or you can only assign online users and you can send notification to the new user. Yes, we want to only assign any user that is online. We want to send an email notification to the new owner to let them know that this lead has been assigned to them. So now, if we're assigning an owner to this lead, we want to let them know if there is any open task, or if there's any open meeting they need to know, or any open calls that is related to this deal. So we are going to make them the owner of the tasks, the owner of the meetings, and the owner of the calls. So when you're done with this, you click on save and associate. So now the second action has been added. Then the next action that you can do is you can add tags. When you click on add tags, you can see all the tags that you have created in your Zoho CRM account. So you can add whatever tags you want to add, or you can use the tags that you have in your CRM already. I'll be picking past clients, and you want to override any existing tags in the selected records with the above tags? The answer is no. I do not want to overwrite it. So what this means is that if you click on this checkbox here, this tag is going to cancel out all of the tags you have already with that particular lead. We do not want that. We just want to add in these tags in there with any other tag that is already in that particular lead. So I am not going to click on that checkbox. Then I'm going to click on save. And also we can also remove a tag. So let's say that it fits in the conditions, the two conditions. We can decide that we want to take off the tags just the same way we have added those tags. So you click on remove tags, and you can click on whatever tag you want to remove. So let's click on code, and you can click on save. Okay, so then the next action to add is the email notification. So you can either send an email notification to the lead, or you can send to the user. So if you are sending an email notification to the user, that means you are sending to people in your organization. If you are sending to the lead, that means you are sending to the lead module email. That means your contact email. So you can just name this the email notification, then you select the template you want to add in. And do you want to send this as at the best time? You can pick whether you want to send that as the best time or not. The system is going to choose the time that this email will be going out. It's going to pick the best time that this email should go out to the lead or to the user. So when you have picked the template you want to use, you click on save and associate, and that action will be added in there. Then you can also assign tasks. You can pick, if you have any existing tasks already, you can just select them and you can click on associate. But if you do not have a task that you want, if you need to create a new task, you can just click on create task. Then you can create a new task to associate with this workflow rules. And when you are done, you can click on save and associate, and that is going to be added in here. Then you can pick it to be added to the workflow rules. Under activities, you can add meetings just like the way you just added task. So you can click on add meeting, and you click on you fill in the title of the meeting, the trigger date, plus how many days, and the duration of the meeting, the user that is going to host this meeting. After filling all this information, you can click on save, and that will be associated with this contact. Then the next action you want to look at is to look at the create record. So for the create record, you want to see if this leads fit in this criteria. Do you want to create deals? Or do you want to create contact, or do you want to create accounts? So you can pick whichever one you want, but you can pick deal. And also you can use the hash character. You can just type in hash, then it brings in all the information. Then you can add the deal name, the pipeline, and and the pipeline stage you want to add to this deal. And when you're done with that, you can click on save. The next action you can do is to also convert. So now the convert, we have convert, which we did. I created a video where I showed you how you can convert your lead into contacts and deals with one click. We can also do that with workflow rules in here. The lead will be converted to accounts and contacts. So if the account already exists, then what do you want to do? You want to add to existing contact. Okay, so that means they're asking that if a contact already exists with that lead name and those lead information, what do you want to do? So you just add to the existing contact, and if an account already exists, you just add also to the existing account. So do you want to create a new deal? If the answer is yes, then you need to click on this checkbox. A new deal information will be added. Then what is the amount of the deal? Then the deal name. Don't forget your hash, then your lead information, and the closing date. Do you want it to be static, or do you want to reference a particular time? I would actually prefer you use reference. So you want to reference this transition trigger date. So that means when this workflow is triggered, then plus, let's say, plus 60 days, then that will be your due date. That will be the closing date for this deal. Then you want to pick the stage of the pipeline, if you want it to be lead qualification or whatever it's in your pipeline. And also you want to pick whatever pipeline you want. We are picking the marketing pipeline. And also we don't need a campaign source, so we are going to leave that. And the contact role, you want the contact role to be a decision maker. So who is the owner of this new record? It will be assigned by default. And you can say, do you want to carry the tags over to contact, to account, or to deals? I prefer carrying my tags to contacts because I want to see, I believe the tags that are coming from lead are best suited with your contact. So you want to click on contact. Then where are the attachments? Where are they going to be moved to? Also to contact. So after you've done all of this, you just want to click on save. That is for convert. Then for webhook, you can also create a webhook, and this is kind of more complex than the rest. So it's just like connecting Zoho apps to other external apps, and you can also use webhook for that. Then you can use function also to connect various apps with Zoho CRM apps. In another video, I'm going to explain how to use functions and webhooks because they are kind of more complicated, and you need to have a bit of coding skills for this. Okay, so that is how to use workflow rules in Zoho CRM. If you have any questions, if you have any challenges with using workflow rules in your Zoho CRM account, I am always here to respond to anything you need. You can just leave a comment below, and I'm going to give you a response. And also, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel so that you can get amazing videos like this. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.